How's it going, everybody?
Welcome to Club Star Wars, huh?
Welcome.
Yeah.
You see, you did that stupid fucking promo.
I did that stupid goddamn motherfucking promo for the podcast, and now we can't stop speaking like this.
But fair enough, Retrospect said, with a plug like that, how could I not come?
Hello, Retrospects. Hello,
So,
Spexy.
hello.
And,
So welcome
yes.
to the fucking show, okay?
And hello, Enemy Double D, who is watching over on Mixer. Hello. Good
Hello.
evening.
Yay.
And thanks
Oh,
for
come on,
1,000 sparks once again.
Indeed.
Now, every week when we come here to start the broadcast, it all starts very calm and collected.
Does it fuck?
No, it starts like
It
that.
slowly spirals into
Into
single
chaos, where we're like,
Yeah.
we can't do this. What are we going to do? How are we going to get the... So,
Hey, we've actually got Facebook chat showing up this week as well, so we can see
Ah,
everything.
that's brilliant.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha
hello, Lee. How are you? So, coming back to what I was saying. So, we're trying headphones tonight. Well,
Except for me.
I've got a pair on. Matt's didn't
Yeah.
arrive in the post, so he's not
Pair.
got his on yet. But that meant that James had to do some extra technical things to get the sound to all come back through,
Yeah.
which wasn't easy.
No, it
But
really
then
wasn't.
the other thing is now, and if there's any tech nerds out there, which I'm sure there are, which might be able to help us with this situation. Basically, as you know, we're now streaming to YouTube, Mixer, Twitter, and Facebook. Now, the Mixer thing, the first week we did it, allowed us to plug directly into the Xbox group, Club Star Wars, which is our group, which, as you know, has got, or may not know, it's got over 100,000.
Over 100,000 followers and nearly 99,000 members.
Wow.
At this
Well,
stage.
there you go.
Well, whoop-de-fucking-do for the Mixer viewers, huh?
Did you see the size of our
God
Club Star Wars bollocks
Damn it,
there?
look at this Retrospects. You do a stupid fucking promo, you get stupid motherfucking viewers like me.
Techno gods. Yes, that's what we need. So, anyway, so what did you do that first time? You
I'm pretty sure I went into the stream on Club Star Wars on the Xbox itself, and there was an option there for me to pin it to the feed, which the owner can do. But going in tonight, there's no option to do that.
It wasn't
just takes you
there
straight to the
this
mixer.
week, and it wasn't there last week.
I mean, you can still watch the stream via the Xbox Club,
Mm-hmm.
but you've got to go into the broadcast
Yeah.
tab.
So basically, whoever's in charge of altering the layout on Mixer within the last 3 weeks, fuck you, buddy. Huh? Fuck you. Should have just left
Mamma
it the
mia.
goddamn way it was.
Exactly. So, will there be any talk of my favourite Star Wars, the Earth Romulan War of 2056 to 2160?
No.
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 Not tonight. No.
Are you trying to encourage us to talk about the first or the second episode of Picard?
I haven't seen the second
I haven't
episode
seen
yet.
it,
I've not
so,
seen
no,
it.
Not really
No.
been. Yeah.
So,
But Red Letter Media are talking already about how it's ruined Star Trek.
Oh God, they were talking about that about Discovery as well. Like it's ruined everything. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
give
yeah.
it over.
Well, there you
Discovery
go.
was pretty shit.
So, Lee Smythe, great thanks, Paddy O'Hare. It's the dark side of Collyhurst, by the way. Well, that is the dark side of Collyhurst.
Collyhurst is dark right now,
Collyhurst.
anyway, isn't it? It's pitch black
Is-
outside.
So, there's plenty of Star Wars news to discuss.
Oh, we got the news. We got the news thing. So just
Oh.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Remember
Here
the
we
news
go.
thing.
News
Ready?
stinger.
Graphic.
News thing. News thing.
Hey.
See?
Isn't that beautiful?
Gorgeous.
Do you know, there's quite a bit of news that, because we just went on and on last week, there's quite a bit of things that we didn't cover last week from the news. So do you want to do them as well as the new ones? Or?
If you like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go for this.
So, yeah, this was something we didn't cover last week. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker featured another... Yes, you don't value my privacy, so piss off again. The Rise of Skywalker featured another secret crossover in its final battle. Ships from another Star Wars property reconfirmed. Hang on, we covered that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Oh, yes. This is quite a funny one.
Go on.
So here's a little one about Chewbacca and how he was a bit more woke in the new Star Wars films, as everyone was.
I don't think I've heard this one.
this is one for Ranty Matt.
Right.
This is from Cinema Blend. Why the Chewbacca actor wore heels when filming Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker?
Because he wasn't tall enough.
Yeah, it's bound to be, isn't it?
Straightforward thing.
Star Wars franchise is a massive one which has entertained moviegoers for decades. One character has been present throughout all 3 trilogies, as well as solo A Star Wars Story. That's right. I'm talking about none other than everyone's favourite Wookiee, Chewbacca. The furry giant is a role created by the late Peter Mayhew before it was passed on to 33-year-old actor Joonas Suotamo. And it turns out that Suotamo actually wears heels when filming as Chewie. Think about that the next time he towers over you. I don't know if the stilettos...
Be like Kiss heels, just like platform heels, wasn't it? It's probably got Paul Stanley's boots.
Not gonna be
like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro built up.
Hey, you don't fucking mention Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Don't mention how much fucking short.
God almighty, you don't mention that shit in my ear, I tell you.
So
why am I fucking deaf?
So
I fucking joke to you.
Suotamo stands at an impressive 7 foot, but it turns out that he is still needed to wear heels to get even taller. The reason, because the filmmakers want to make sure he's the same height as the late Peter Mayhew, who I think was 7'4", if I'm not mistaken. Suotamo was recently asked if it was hard to act with the Chewie mask on, to which he said, well, I don't have to act. No, he had to say... He didn't say that.
Yeah.
He said, I just have to go.
Yeah.
So it's actually not difficult at all because the mask is so tight on my face, it doesn't hinder my visibility. I can see fine, and it's not that heavy, so it's not a hard thing to do. I can move fine, but sometimes I wear these small heels to make me a couple of inches taller because I'm only 7 foot. That hinders me a little bit, but not too much. The intention was to match Peter's listed height from when he was younger, but when doing running scenes or action shots, we sometimes did not use the heels, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Just kept running heels. When that is certainly behind the curtain for Star Wars movies. So there you go.
Thank you for the Sparks Enemy Double D.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sparks again. We've also had from Retro Specs.
Oh yeah, very good comment. That. Thank you.
That's a very good comment. We didn't cover this last week, which was pretty funny.
Oh, is this more news? Should
more
we do some more news? Right, hang on. More
Go
news.
On, do it.
News.
Oh, we love that news.
Like the news. The news.
This is also from Cinema Blend.
Cinema Blend.
Just like for sure eyes.
People keep stealing Sporks from Galaxy's Edge.
I know, I heard about this one. Why steal Sporks?
Yeah.
So,
but
Disneyland started selling them.
For $11.
Well, of course.
For a spork.
They've got to make up for the loss of, the fact that it's not, people are not arriving.
The ones he was stealing with the
space cruisers.
Metal ones or plastic ones. Or...
It's kind of like a spoon. It's kind of like a fork, but it's neither of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say, they seem to have vanished at KFC as well. So is everybody...
You know what else vanished at KFC? Decent fries.
I thought you were going to say chicken.
They are trying to do that.
Yeah.
They are trying to do that. That's the only reason why they're doing the plant-based KFC, because they're that petrified that they're going to run out of chicken again. That's what they're trying to do. Right.
How did the real fanboys not notice the drop in height in those scenes?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Call yourself fans. You couldn't tell he was 2 inches shorter.
You can see someone sat there, like in that episode of The
I bet
Simpsons,
if you were feverishly sat over a Carrie Fisher in the gold bikini picture, you'd notice if you were 2 inches shorter then, wouldn't you? Ah, what's going on? But when Chewbacca loses 2 inches, who cares? It's nothing to do with me. Just poor Chewie's like used to be 7'4", but he was struck by a lift.
I mean, could you imagine someone actually sitting there going, like in a thing going, yes, I'd like to ask you a question. Yeah. Why in the new trilogy
is Chewbacca so fucking short?
Do it in comic book guy's voice. Excuse me, I have a question to ask you. Why, in the new trilogy, is Chewbacca 3 inches shorter than he's meant to be? Worst sequels ever!
That is a rare photograph of Sean Connery signed by Roger Moore. It is one of a kind and $100.
I shall now return to my comic book store where I dispense the insults rather than absorb them.
I shall now register my disgust on the internet. Right, so brilliant. Coming back to the sporks thing, Retrospect says, fuck me, if you steal them now, they're worth a fortune.
Yes.
I got one from the University of Botto Stadium, but £6 each on eBay. Sporks! Exactly.
Right.
Those sporks were going for $150 on eBay.
What? It's a spork.
You people have got more money than sense.
And the people selling them, you fuckers are sick. Sick.
Get help.
Oh my God.
It's got Star Wars written in on it, which means it must be worth $100 million.
It's a utensil for eating food.
Yeah.
But it's a Star Wars utensil, so, you know.
Sweet,
it increases in value
Christ.
immediately.
I mean, you know why they're selling for that much on eBay? Brexit.
yeah, I'll blame
Space Brexit.
I mean, honestly, who would spend money on a utensil for eating or drinking? That's just
I can't understand that at all. You're fucking mad. The lot of
just crazy.
But the thing is, that's it. Is like, yes, I shall now place the spork into its glass container, never to be opened ever again.
No, it would be placed in a Perspex box, which was crafted by a guy for the exact same size. Anyway,
search for spork.
Stop bringing up Star Trek. This is a Star Wars show in the broadest terms. God. Redcon.
Oh, dear Lord.
Right. So coming back to the sporks, right?
We never left the sporks.
We never left the sporks.
I miss the sporks.
Particularly the fans who've been to Disney World didn't leave them. So anyway, the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was one of the most anticipated events in theme park history. The new land was designed to make you feel like you existed on a planet in the Star Wars universe, with everything feeling unusual and alien. That theming existed all the way down to the utensils, as Docking Bay 7, the land's main eatery, included a unusually shaped metal spork for guests to eat with. However, far too many guests decided the spork would make for an inexpensive souvenir, and so many of them disappeared. That Disneyland eventually decided to stop using them altogether.
Why did you do that in the style of watch as I make this spork disappear?
I know. I've been doing dramatic readings this week, so I think there may be some overspill here.
Well, I was getting a vibe of William Shatner as well.
Yeah,
were you?
It's because this week he can hear himself in his earphones, so he feels like he's doing voiceover work.
That's true.
That's what it is.
And I can hear it slower, so I'm trying to do everything really fast because it sounds like I'm doing everything really slow in my ears.
I noticed that this week you are talking into your microphone as well.
That was the missing link, wasn't it?
Yes.
I did radio, but you've always got headphones on and you know when you're talking into the mic. If you haven't got them on, you don't know when you're talking.
Exactly. You just have to rely on me to tell you when
you just go, speak into the mic, dickhead. Anyway, however, one can never accuse Disney of missing an opportunity, and so the Galaxy's Edge spork is back. But if you want to use it to eat your Endorian tip yip, whatever that is, you'll need to pay because the item is now for sale at Docking Bay 7 for $10.99. The only really shock here isn't that Disneyland started selling the thing the guest was stealing. It's that it took this long for it to happen. From the moment the items proved popular with guests, it felt like this moment was coming, and now it's here. The other thing...
Is it worth more if it's touched Star Wars food, says Beaumont? Probably is.
Or a member of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Get some Star Wars chopsticks packaged free from space Vimtovirus. Give coronavirus a run. The reason that they're selling them now is because the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Why does he keep trying to come back to Star Trek?
Space Vimtovirus.
I think he's toying with us, sir.
I have and always shall be your friend.
You're not sorry at all, Retrospecs. I know you're not. So the other thing that selling the items does is it makes the bottom fall out of the secondary market. A lot of those stolen sporks ended up on eBay, of course. Some at some pretty ridiculous prices. $150.
$150.
Now nobody's going to pay for one then if they're going to spend the money and then blah.
Yeah,
so blah, blah, blah.
They're not gonna. People are not going to want to buy them now.
People are not going to want to buy the sporks. Right. So,
I'm not repeating that comment, Specs. That is not happening. I'm not repeating that on the air.
It's. I can personally tell you that it's probably worth $400 if it touched Ray's ass. Particularly to James and I, but maybe to Matt too. I don't want to speak on his behalf.
Oh, you know, you never know.
Hang on. He's just talking to me.
Stop watching the thing.
Well,
I'm just trying to read the comments.
I'd just like to report that we are pinned to the Xbox.
Oh,
Club.
good.
Oh, you've done it.
Oh,
good.
Excellent.
Jolly good. Wonderful.
Well
yeah.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
There you go. Figured it out.
Okay, so
do we want to watch this? What's this stuff that we've got to watch?
I think we'll save that till last.
All right.
Yeah, just to let you know, and if you don't know, the footage of the cancelled George Lucas Star Wars show appeared online this week. Matt's seen it. James and I haven't seen it, so we're going to watch it live with you. And then we'll talk about it afterwards.
And then we'll probably get 3 strikes on our YouTube account all in one go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. Slightly.
So, coming back around to one of the points... You can never stop looking at pictures of Razor. So, coming back around to one of the points that we touched on last week. This is from The Guardian. Bye-bye box office. Has Disney really given up on Star Wars movies? The studio says it's taking a break from making Star Wars films to focus on TV spin-offs after the success of The Mandalorian. So that's it. After 3 trilogies, at least 2 of them pretty flawed, and more than $10 billion taken at the global box office, Star Wars, as a going Hollywood concern, is being parked. Stalled like an X-Wing in a Dagobah swamp. This story has reached its finale with the insipid, crushingly disappointing The Rise of Skywalker. Ooh, ouch.
Why do they always have to come up with like similes like stalled? But I got it. Stalled like an X-Wing in a Dagobah swamp. Yeah. They'll love that.
They'll love that because we're going to say afterwards the insipid, crushingly disappointing.
I'm taking they didn't like the movie then.
Yeah, I'm guessing you didn't like it. A movie that seemed determined to confirm every criticism aimed at the latest triptych of films that they existed only to sell movie tickets and merchandise.
You don't say.
This was Star Wars in name only, a bloodless counterfeit of the original trilogy's soulful cosmic magnificence.
Anybody who likes the new trilogy is wrong, and I'm going to give you all the reasons why in my news article.
The Guardian's going to tell you why in a mainstream media way. Word that Disney no longer sees Star Wars as a cinema priority comes from studio chairman Bob Iger. Who we can't... That's the first time I've said Bob Iger, but not Bob Iger.
I know.
An American accent.
Bob
yeah.
Iger.
Bob Iger,
Yes.
who told investors this week that the series would be taking a bit of a hiatus in terms of theatrical release. Sorry, I had to do Alan Partridge. I don't know why.
What is it? This is like novelty just because you've got the cans on. It's like, I wonder how many voices I can do down
Exactly.
the microphone and how they sound in my ears. Yes,
It's
it's
fun.
an extender.
The company intends to focus instead on potential small screen spin offs based on its highly successful TV show, The Mandalorian, the space western-esque tale of a taciturn bounty hunter whose heart is melted by Baby Yoda. According to Variety, Disney believes it has oversaturated the market with Star Wars movies after The Rise of Skywalker and 2018 Solo, a Star Wars shit pile. Failed to storm the
didn't like that
global
movie.
box office because it was shit.
Yes.
Disney's move is a bit like a football team deciding to retire from the game. Don't you love this guy's film?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
with his, like, all of these is like, this is like this.
Retire from the game because their most recent season didn't go according to plan. There are a myriad of reasons why the latest movie triptych, he likes that word, triptych,
Yeah,
was
he
a
does, doesn't
damp squib. These stem largely from the saga's inability to move on from the original trilogy's stories and themes. Fans watched through their fingers as Andy Serkis' Supreme Leader Snoke was set up as the big bad of the new movies before being discarded and replaced by a returning Palpatine for the final installment, purely to allow J.J. Abrams to pretend he was rounding off a saga nicely, when George Lucas already managed their feed pretty well in 1983. Irritating space daddies notwithstanding, brackets. Even the much maligned prequel trilogy that emerged between 1999 and 2005, hello there, told a following, if rigid and boring, stories of the last days of the Galactic Republic and the rise of the evil empire. The new film seemed to lurch between trying to introduce new characters and ideas and reprising themes that were played out to their logical conclusions more than 3 decades ago. I'm still trying to work out how Palpatine built a fleet of ships and managed to crew them in about 5 minutes during the rise of Skywalker, despite having been a
Because
zombified
it
host
says
for more
so
than
in
13
the script.
I know, it's
It's in the
Right there in black
goddamn
and white.
script.
brackets, but it still makes no sense. Last time out, Palpatine needed the resources of the entire Republic to do something similar, but this time around, he seems to have magicked up all those super laser-equipped Star Destroyers with a click of his half-dead digits. Ironically,
How do you do that with half the digits?
The Mandalorian has shown Disney where it went wrong with the new trilogy, but touching more lightly on original story beats, the season was able to carve out blah, 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 blah. We were hoping to see this kind of creative courage portrayed in Rian Johnson's muted new trilogy of films, set away from the utterly rinsed Skywalker clan and its various hangers-on. Johnson, with his 2007's The Last Jedi, at least shows signs of having the guts to do away with much of the established thinking around Star Wars. Oh, so they're a Johnson fan now. All
Yeah,
becomes
yeah.
clear.
You know,
And drag
actually-
the saga into fresh territory. Whether or not those movies ever get to made in the future, it seems unlikely that Disney will risk a new kind of space opera.
Yeah, a lot of Last Jedi fans dislike
The rest.
the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
I don't know whether that's a JJ and Ryan Johnson thing or what. I don't know, but yeah,
because it undid all the daring and challenging things that you
Yeah,
put forward in
yeah,
that film, I suppose.
You mispronounced shit and boring.
I did.
You did. You mispronounced those words. I mean, they're quite simple words. I'm surprised you mispronounced them, to be honest.
Well,
So, what do you think? Star Wars is going on a bit of a break movie-wise. Good or bad? Indifferent?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
I think it's a good
I
thing.
think it's going on a break because apart from the Mandalorian, I mean, the Obi-Wan series has been put on permanent hiatus as well.
For about
hasn't
a
it?
year. Is it permanent?
So they say.
Yeah, they don't know yet.
Right.
They don't know
Some
yet.
people are saying permanent. Ewan McGregor's playing it down.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as what you all think.
Hello
I'm gonna
there.
do it.
Hello
I'm gonna play
there.
Obi-Wan again.
You said you'd bring order to the Force. No, said you'd destroy the Sith, not join them, you wee shite, you.
Anakin, give it up.
I have the
I've got the high ground.
Stop it!
Billy Connolly as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Then I'm another Scotsman as buddy Anakin. You underestimate my power, Sonny Jim. All right.
Listen, I've got a carry out. I'm just looking for a party.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Without those
yeah, it
arms
does.
and legs, you look like a wee bird's jobby.
It gets right in your crack.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were older, but your uncle wouldn't allow it. That'd be Nancy.
It's a bong.
We should move. The sand people are easily startled, but they'll be back. And in greater numbers.
And they'll be back with a crew.
Aye. They'll have greater numbers than a kebab shop on a Friday night. Aye.
You're spoiled for choice up here, anyway. So, Retrospect said,
which was a fucking cheap
lame
fucking
rehash.
Which was a fucking.
I assume
fucking
you're talking
rehash.
about Rise of Skywalker.
What he said?
Lee Smythe says, not many people wearing face masks yet. Soon will be. Club Star Wars anti-space Vimptovirus mask with baby Adoy on a goer. Can you make us some masks for marketing to the viewers of this program, Lee? That'd be good.
Club Star Wars masks.
So, yeah, going on a hiatus. Good, bad, indifferent. What are your feelings?
Yeah, I think there needs to be a few years in between movies, definitely.
Yes.
Like there used to be, because I mean, Star Wars movie is supposed to be an event. I think they always have been.
Yeah.
You know, if you do get too many, like year after year after year after year, like the Marvel universe, yeah, probably will get a bit.
If they were all as good as Rogue One, there wouldn't have been any problems.
Well, this is it. This is it.
That's the thing. If they were all as good as Rogue One, there would. Yeah.
Prior to, I'm not going to go on a rant, but prior to The Last Jedi,
lie.
That was a plan, wasn't it? Release a movie once every 2 years.
Yeah.
A saga movie and then an offshoot.
But then they kind of fell behind.
But then Solo came out and
then they done
broke
fucked
the
up.
bank a wee bit, didn't it? You know,
They done fucked up.
They gone fucked up.
I don't know what. I still can't get over what the hell Solo. I just can't get over what the hell Solo even was.
No, I can't believe it was greenlit in the first place. You know,
it was shite.
Nobody wanted it.
Hey, I've just been to see Solo. Should have just been called shite.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It was a wee drop in the pool.
A Star Wars story.
Yeah, shite, a Star Wars story.
A Star Wars non-story. Right. So,
why does everybody sound like Mike Myers trying to do Scotch?
Donkey.
So, what do you think, guys? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think we should be taking a break from?
Yes, because I
Star
think
Wars films,
there's
James?
oversaturation. Yes, I think that. Yeah,
It's not like Star Wars is going away. I mean, we've got
No.
Mandalorian season 2 coming out at the end of this year.
October, I believe.
October, yeah. We've got season 7 of the Clone Wars, which I'm immensely looking forward to.
Yeah, you're a big fan of Clone Wars.
Yeah. And what else is there? Really, there's games in development.
Yeah.
Jedi Order was a good game.
Yeah,
I like. Yeah. I play a lot of Battlefront. Battlefront. Yeah.
Easy for you to say.
The computer says no.
I like them Battlefront.
So,
sorry, my brain is melting.
Before we have a look at the Star Wars Underworld footage, do you want to? We did touch on this last week about the Colin Trevorrow.
Oh yes.
Star Wars Duel of the Fates.
The Duel of the Fates. There's been so much artwork released. I don't know who's releasing it. I can't imagine it being Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
because that's kind of counterproductive for their own, you know. But yeah, Paul Bateman on Facebook and Twitter.
Paul Bateman.
He's been like dropping this artwork from Colin Trevorrow's movie, and I'm telling you, man.
Who's Paul Bateman? Why is he getting the artwork?
Well, he's got a I don't know exactly. He's
got deep pockets.
He's got like contacts in the biz.
Right.
He's got contacts in the business, has he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a jolly nice chap, Paul Bateman. He's normally a guest
what
on.
a thoroughly charming chap. Yes.
Thoroughly charming.
Thoroughly nice chap. Yes.
He's a very nice man. He's a very, very nice. Anyway, yeah, and this artwork is brilliant, and like, there's the final shot of Colin Trevorrow's movie was of Rey heading towards a temple to train the next generation of Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, because
so
it
on
was,
and so
it
forth.
was
There's a
weird
lot
how
of-
they ended Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
It should have been something like that because we were almost led to believe like she was quitting being a Jedi.
Yeah,
She was quitting being a Jedi, but identifying as a Skywalker,
Yeah.
which was how Matt put it
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
eloquently
Yeah.
last week,
Yeah.
or whenever it was. Here are the 10 coolest details from the Duel of the Fates script leak. Okay, so I'm just gonna spin through these without all the preamble. There's a legend leaked. Duel of the Fates has surfaced online. Okay, number 10. Palpatine returns in The Rise of Skywalker despite fans believing him to be dead following his fall down the Death Star chute at the end of Return of the Jedi back in 1983. However, Trevorrow's script wouldn't have involved the Sith Lord being the antagonist. Instead, it would have had Palpatine sending Kylo Ren on a mission from beyond the grave. Rumour has it that we would have seen Tor Valum, supposedly the Sith Lord's old master before Darth Plagueis, and the prospect of Palpatine having more than one evil master certainly sounds intriguing. Number 9. Kylo Ren learns some crazy things. The Rise of Skywalker sees Adam Driver's Kylo Ren redeemed, with the villain shredding his alter ego to become Ben Solo once again, following the death of his mother, Leia Organa. However, in the Trevorrow script, Driver's character would have stayed bad to the bone. Wow. Pretty much right up until the end. Tor Valum would have reportedly taught him some rather horrific things, like being able to drain the life force of others, and we think this may have paved the way for Rey's force healing skill that we see in the final movie of the saga.
Can I just mention there as well, there's another piece of this artwork released where it's showing Kylo Ren walking past a tree and he's draining the life force from a tree.
Because trees...
They're alive.
Yeah, true, but it just...
Trees are where you keep the sacred Jedi tech.
Not those.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? So number 8, we go back to Coruscant. It would be no understatement to say that the new prequel trilogy was divisive. George Lucas's decision to make another 3 films didn't satisfy everyone, but for the most part, people think the planets involved were a redeeming factor. And Duel of the Fates would have taken us back to Coruscant, the setting for the most of the prequel action. It's here where the old Jedi Temple stood, and this would have made an appearance in what would have been a nice throwback. The First Order would reportedly take over the location, and the Resistance would rally to try and reclaim it, with one member in particular playing a starring role.
I mean, it was amazing how that Jakku looked in no way, shape or form like Tatooine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we got another desert planet in the new film, didn't we?
Yeah.
That wasn't Tatooine.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got some comments. Retrospect says, apparently teens were upset that the love interest wasn't explored more between Rey and Kylo. Those would be the Reylos, won't they? They thought she was going to get all Jason Derulo. Everything has midichlorians, even trees. Farts. Do farts have midichlorians?
So, are we trying to say that farts are force sensitive?
I think hemorrhoids are evidence of that.
Oh my god. What
Say no
happens?
more.
What happens when a Jedi farts? Does he fart out some of the midichlorians? Does he? Cares not a jot.
Probably force lightning.
Can Jedi suffer from incontinence?
If he's had a bantha curry the night before, you know what I mean?
Prepare to face my dark side.
Just hang on a moment. I just need to nip for a wee Jedi slash.
Oh, look at that.
I got to go
A wee
drain.
beige jobby.
Yeah, I just gotta
Pissy
go handle my
chlorian.
lightsaber.
Lee, great to be with you again, guys, but got to do what the shepherd did and get the flock out of here. Laters, may the force be with you. The dark side's going down to the chippy. Ta-ra. See you later, Lee.
Later.
Nice one, mate. Right, so number 7. Finn leads the resistance. John Boyega felt a bit iffy about The Last Jedi. Probably not the only one. When the movie came out back in 2017. However, he was happier with The Rise of Skywalker due to the fact that the character of Finn gets a chance to bathe in the spotlight, leading the resistance during their epic final showdown with the First Order on Exegol. And Finn would have had a similarly good role in Duel of the Fates. Boyega's characters would have reportedly used his old Stormtrooper connections to spark an uprising, and given that his past was somewhat forgotten about in the sequel trilogy, this would have been a good decision. Yeah, true. That wasn't explored at all, was it? Apart from just giving him that love interest. Oh, you were a Stormtrooper too. Cool. 6. Kylo Ren needs a mask for a legitimate reason. Back to Kylo Ren and Tor Valum now. The former would have reportedly come into contact with a Sith holocron at some point in the movie, an object we actually get to see in the final movie of the saga. However, it would reportedly have exploded in his face, leaving him disfigured, prompting Kylo into making a new mask for himself. This would have been another parallel with the grandfather Anakin Skywalker, and one we wished we'd seen. We weren't entirely sold on Kylo fixing his mask in Rise of the Skywalker, given that it didn't actually make one bit of difference to the story.
Yes, it didn't. It didn't. It didn't. Yeah,
It
a
was
bit-
just like retcon.
And
Yeah.
Again, there is artwork of the mask, the new helmet, floating around on Facebook. So it's a Paul Bateman, yeah.
Okay.
And it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
Oh, Kylo Ren
Oh,
fights
no, this
Darth
would have been good.
Vader.
Number 5, Kylo Ren fights Darth Vader. Part of the reason why Duel of the Fates sounds so good is because of how much stuff Kylo Ren gets up to in the movie. And the leaked script suggests that he'd have actually engaged Darth Vader in a lightsaber combat after Tor Varum sends him into a cave. Obviously, this would have been a throwback to when Luke Skywalker fought Vader in a cave on Dagobah during The Empire Strikes Back. Fans would have no doubt relished seeing Kylo fighting and losing to the family member he idolizes so much. Number 4, Luke torments Kylo Ren. The final words Luke Skywalker speaks before his death in The Last Jedi are, "See you around, kid," which is very Han Solo. These are to Kylo Ren and accompanied with a cheeky wink. Fans could be forgiven for thinking this was Luke being cool, particularly given how he barely appeared in The Rise of Skywalker. But these words would have been taken literally in Duel of the Fates. Luke would have reportedly tormented Kylo and trained Rey at the same time. This, we feel, would have certainly appeased fans angry at how Luke was portrayed in the previous movie.
But that wouldn't have been in Luke's nature to do that. You know what I mean? Like for him to torment somebody.
Not very Jedi.
I think in
is
the-
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
not very Jedi.
I don't think it was like a Mark Hamill tormenting, like being a nuisance. I think he was appearing to him to try and get him to forget the dark side.
Right,
and
yeah.
all that sort
Yeah,
of
like
stuff.
him appearing in Kylo's visions, like, "Hey, Kylo, you stink."
Yeah.
Hey, Kylo, pull my finger.
Hey, Kylo, how's your dad? Oh, too soon. Say, hey, Kylo, say hi to your mom for me.
Why don't you make like a Jedi tree?
And suck the life force out of me.
yeah.
Number 3, Chancellor Hux. One of out of all the characters from the sequel trilogy, we can't help but feel we should have seen more of General Hux. He's central to The Force Awakens, but it turned into a comedic figure in The Last Jedi before being killed off rather abruptly in The Rise of Skywalker.
I liked his death.
In
thought it was
Trevorrow's
good.
script, though, Hux would have had a much cooler storyline. He'd become Chancellor, collect lightsabers of dead Jedi, and then kill himself when the First Order leaves at the end. If we'd have got this, then Hux would have come across a lot cooler than he did. 2 more Force ghosts. We get to see Force ghosts in The Rise of Skywalker in the forms of Luke and Leia, who both smile at Rey on Tatooine after she buries their old lightsabers in the sand. On top of this, we get to hear, but not see, the likes of Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Mace Windu, and much, much more as Rey battles against the rejuvenated Palpatine. However, Trevorrow's script would have had the ghosts of Luke, Obi-Wan, and Yoda all assist her. One of the fans' biggest complaints about J.J. Abrams' blockbuster is how we never got to see the characters we love. So this would have been a popular moment for
I mean,
me.
that would have been good.
Yes.
That would have been good. I mean,
That would have been good.
I wanted to see Samuel L. Jackson. Damn, I've had it with this motherfucking Sith on this motherfucking hexagon. You know.
Is it true that Samuel Jackson had motherfucker written on his lightsaber hilt?
Probably.
I would not put that past
No, I wouldn't
him
put it past him.
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I
Mark
wouldn't put
Hamill as Joker as Luke.
Yeah. Going around tormenting Kylo.
Yeah.
As a
People
Joker.
like Baby Yoda just wait till they get a load of teddy bear Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You mean Ewok Jedi?
Yeah. Could you imagine
Jedwok.
Luke Skywalker, but with the voice of the Joker?
If you only knew the power of the dark.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Amazing. Every one of those words that you just said was wrong.
I paid to see that.
Oh,
May the
God.
Force be with you.
Right, last one. R2-D2 is destroyed and C-3PO mourns. Another big complaint about The Rise of Skywalker is how Ben Solo and Palpatine, the 2 villains, are the only 2 major casualties. Leia's death doesn't really count due to the fact that Disney had to find a way to write her out of the script.
Nah.
There's a Chewbacca dying fake out and that nobody was convinced by, and C-3PO's loss of memory turns out to be temporary. However, in the Duel of the Fates, R2-D2 would have been destroyed. To make things even sadder, C-3PO would also have mourned him. We're pretty sure droids can't cry, but that doesn't matter. It would have been a real tearjerker nonetheless.
Like that. We're pretty sure droids can't cry. Why do people assume that? Some droids may be able to cry.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't judge. Don't assume. Don't assume droids can cry or can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
The Tin Man.
In Doctor Who, the Cybermen can cry.
Can they?
Can they?
Yes, they can. They
But
have
on the inside.
they have oil ducts on their eyes, and they cry oil
Cry-
out of the
Cybermen.
yes, Cybermen.
Sorry.
Right, we got about 10 minutes left. So should we watch some of this footage?
Yeah, do you want to watch
this?
this footage, guys?
Huh?
Yeah. Go on,
Yeah?
let's
Right.
let's watch some Star Wars stuff.
Let's have a look.
Star Wars Underworld.
I need to get.
So
the-
this is the George Lucas television series that was in production or pre-production.
This looks very very Blade.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you put,
There we go.
Okay.
Now we can hear this.
So this is only test footage. It's not the real deal, so it looks a bit fan-made.
That still looks all right.
Yeah. I mean, this is
So
the mid.
Blade Runner.
This is the mid 2000s. Right? It looks pretty good.
Surveillance droid reports rebel activity in the area.
So this is from the mid 2000s.
YouTube,
Yeah,
move
I
along.
think
so.
This area is threat level orange. Move along.
The underworld of Coruscant.
Hello. I was sent from Alistair. Thank you. Thank you. We could not have done this without you.
What's
Slightly out of sync voice over.
Ah.
I think this is some kind of drill.
I once heard this, that there was this drill. She was like, there was no way.
How long have you had these droids? DK-904 reporting in.
This is all really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spec said if it's Star Wars and Blade Runner had a baby.
True.
It's right on my street.
Yeah.
It's just missing.
Yeah.
I've seen
We have a
things
positive ID on a
you people
terrorist
wouldn't
vehicle.
believe.
You
Let's check
troopers
it out.
wouldn't
Copy
believe.
that.
Oh, here we go.
The plans have been acquired. We will need weapons and your best soldiers. We will also need a ship.
This console has been compromised. Lock down the area and search the vehicle. Alert Team 2 of our situation.
We have a ship.
Cruiser class?
Team 2 reporting in.
I think I'm being followed.
Initiate search. Proceed with caution.
Get in the back.
Let's go. Nobody move. Who is the owner of the speeder outside?
I mean, money was spent here, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely was.
Why was the show cancelled? Well, not so much cancelled. Why wasn't it? Yeah. Produced properly. Is there a way?
Lockdown! 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 Lockdown!
Oh man, this is so Blade Runner, isn't it?
It's brilliant. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that about it.
Watch it! Watch it!
It's a shame.
Team 2 taking fire!
Wow, they really can't hit anything.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're literally they're almost at point blank range there, and they still can't hit each other.
Woo! Wilhelm scream.
Yep.
Retrospect says, "Nobody move. We have no idea how to actually hit anything with these guns." It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
That was good.
Yeah, I thought it was passable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, I assume that was all that was shot.
Yeah, that was all that was shot, as far as we know. You know. Well,
Nobody move. We have no idea how to actually hit anything with these guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did they test screen it and the tests weren't successful, or
I don't know. I don't
did
know.
George
I
see it
don't
and
know
then
the
go,
reason.
nah?
Maybe somebody out there does, but
No, George saw it and went, "No, we're gonna hold off until we've perfected digital eyelash rendering." There's
I
not
don't want to
enough-
put people back in costumes again. We want digital stormtroopers.
There's
That's
not
the way
enough
to go.
There's not enough CG in this.
who's releasing these things? 'Cause I'm sure Lucasfilm would be quite annoyed about it.
It's probably George himself.
Probably, that's what I'm thinking. You know, all these images from Colin Trevorrow's,
See what they make of this.
the alternative scripts for episode 9.
Yeah.
What if it's
He's
Mark
like-
Hamill?
Probably is. Yeah.
I mean, could it be them anyway? Like strategic leaks,
I don't know. Maybe.
you know?
It's seeing what fans like, you know.
Yeah.
After we're done here, I need to take a strategic leak.
Well, there you go.
But no, yeah, that was great. I wish it was released. I wish it was made. But
Star
anyway,
War Lord 7. Good old aim, like it's amazing marksmanship. But Balmut said, but if they move, the chances of them getting hit goes up.
Yeah.
Said no stormtrooper ever.
Yeah.
Lol.
The aim is just universally terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I
That's
would say so.
Yeah. I remember seeing that cartoon, like a comic strip of a stormtrooper, and he's reading this book on how to fly, and it says, flying is just the art of falling and missing the ground. So he jumps off a cliff and you, hey, woohoo! Classic.
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
With style. There was something I wanted to, just before we get out of here, and we should really cover it. The late great Alan Harris passed away this week, aka Bosk. Now,
Such a shame.
You may have noticed if you go in the Club Star Wars Facebook group that we shared a post from the Kurtz Joyner archive, which is the Gary Kurtz and Jason Joyner who runs the Showmasters events, started an archive of all of Gary's stuff. Go on there and read that post. I was going to read it out today, but we've kind of run out of time. But I did just want to give you, if I can find it, because I'm going to have to deep through all these messages here. I did want to give you a quick roll call of all the things that Alan played other than Bosk. And we'll maybe go into detail about him a bit more on next week's show, possibly with a guest to talk about some of these things. Now, where the hell I'm just chatting too much nonsense with this person.
Scroll through your WhatsApp quicker, Paddy.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I'm trying my best.
We're on the clock. We're on the clock.
We are on the clock. How long have we got left before?
Oh, we're over.
This thing?
We're already over.
Oh, we're over.
We're in overtime.
we're
Oh,
already
I've got it.
overtime,
I've
yeah.
got it.
Here we go.
I've got it. I've got it. Right. So, Alan Harris's Star Wars roles. Leah's escort on thingy. Hoth Rebel. Stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm.
Bespin Guard. Bosk. Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did Boba Fett.
He did.
The white
Prototype.
Yeah.
Imperial Officer, stand-in for Anthony Daniels, Terrence Stamp's double, and Naboo Citizen.
It's not a bad list of names, really.
It's not a bad listing.
So
is
he
it
was
not?
in the prequel.
He was in the prequels as well, yeah. So
Retrospects just said because Han Solo was obviously Jimmy Corkill in space. That's true.
True. He was also Han Solo's body in the Carbonite. Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
They just took a cast of Harrison's face and then went, Alan, you do the. So those are his hands. And
Fuck it.
Wow.
I was hoping to meet the guy this year.
yeah,
'Cause he
Star Wars
was going to be a
Fun
guest.
Day.
Yeah, the fun day.
Shooting forward there. But we'll cut. Yeah, so we just wanted to mark that, and we will
Yeah.
cover more on Alan next week, possibly with a guest. So, Jesus, it went really, really quick tonight.
It did,
How
yeah.
much are we over? I can never see the counter. Where does
This is-
3
this
minutes
is
over?
The thing here.
We're only
you
3
see.
minutes
It's
over.
9:33 now.
It's only
you
3
see.
minutes over.
9:33. You see.
But did we start a little bit later as well?
You
No,
did
no,
start a
we-
little bit.
No,
No,
we started dead on. I think we started at about dead on 8:30.
no,
Oh,
right. Okay.
Roundabout, something like that.
There's too much to talk about, isn't there?
Star Wars, man.
As usual. So, come back next week. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in. Thanks to James. Thanks to Matt.
James. Thanks, Paddy.
Thanks to everybody out there.
Hamill for Vesemir.
Hashtag Animal for Vesemir. Yeah, keep an eye on that. And
And thanks to all you motherfuckers for watching.
and we'll see you
Bada
next
bing, bada
week.
bum.
May Alan live on in the great Trandoshan hunt. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Star Wars Lord 7. Thanks very much. And we'll see you next week. May the Force be with you. Bye.
Bye.